All right, welcome back, everybody. We took a little break there because we were both honestly gassed last week after work, so we didn't really feel like recording on a Friday, and we both had commitments Saturday, Sunday. So we just figured we'd take a break. So this week's probably going to be a little bit of a longer one, maybe. We're going to talk about week 11 from what we can remember. Then week 12, recap the four games that have already happened in week 13, and then, as always, give our predictions for the remaining anytime TD scores to hopefully win some money. And yeah, because this guy had a big week last week, must be nice. So, all right, Justin, from what you can remember in week 11, anything stand out to you?
I'm looking back at it now. I barely remember this week, to be honest with you. The only thing that I really remember, two things, was the Texans beating up on the Cowboys in Dallas on Monday night.
Yep.
Dallas has looked good since that game, like
Yeah.
relatively good, but like that was just like their first Cooper Rush game. So, eh, you know. And then the Bills beating the Chiefs, which was big, but
We both called that though.
yeah, we
Me
did.
being a Chief fan, I said they were gonna, well, I can't say we because I'm not on the team, but I said they were
Other,
gonna lose that game. It's just inevitable.
other
And rightfully so. The Bills dominated that game. They played very well.
Yeah, other than that, nothing really from week 11. Everything other than the Lions blowing out the Jags, I don't know. I think that was the one where was that not the one where they had a shit ton of points and then Goff only threw for like 80 odd yards? Was that this game?
That was earlier in the year, but this was the same thing. He didn't throw for many yards
No,
because they pulled out all the trick plays
400.
and stuff. Yeah.
He threw for 412 and four tuds. He threw for a lot that game.
Yeah. Random aside though, because I'm looking at this on Google. It's kind of funny. So they give the recap of all the games like a 10 to 15-minute clip. And I don't know if you're on Google right now too, but the Bengals and Chargers recap from week 11 is the full game.
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
So I wonder why they did that, but it is what it is. Yeah, me too. Like I can't really remember much about this week. So we'll skip that. So maybe this won't be as long as I was thinking. Week 12, I'll start this off. Anything that stood out for me. Oh, Chiefs Panthers. What a game by Bryce Young. He
Yeah,
balled out that game.
he did.
All the memes almost actually came true.
He
They
did.
almost came true. Everybody said there's one guy I can stop if the Chiefs beat the Bills, but they lost, and they almost lost to the Panthers too. So another thing that stood out for me, the Lions didn't look too great against the Colts. They're kind of struggling that game,
Hmm.
but they still managed to win 24-6. Anthony Richardson didn't have a bad game. His completion percentage is still low. The only other one that stood out for me really was two of the later games, the 49ers and the Packers. The Packers dominated the 49ers. But I mean, that's kind of to be expected this year. The 49ers really haven't been that good. Been dealing with injuries. And then the other one, the Eagles look fantastic. They dominated the Rams in that game, too.
Eagles do look good. Eagles look very good. They've woken up a little bit. They look pretty damn good.
Yep. And we're going to skip your game because Jay Herbo let me down. Shout out Justin because Josh Allen was on bye week. And then, yeah, I guess we can speak to these ones. Bears Lions, the one thing I want to speak to, and I remember talking to Deitcha, shout out Deitcha, because I know you watch these about this, and it happened. After that freaking mishap, and I know you weren't watching this because you're at work, but after that mishap at the end of the game by Eberflus and Caleb Williams, I said to Deitcha, Eberflus is going to be fired tomorrow, and he was.
Yeah.
I think that's the right call. Rumor is, and as a freaking Chiefs fan, as you can see in the back, rumor is they're going to go after Matt Nagy in the offseason again. I hope to God that happens because Matt Nagy has hindered our offense for the last 2 years. Yes, we've won Super Bowls, but everybody calls Pat Mahomes a check down merchant, and that's because Matt Nagy doesn't allow him to really air out the ball and call the right play calls. So fingers crossed. I really hope that happens in the offseason and bring back Eric Bieniemy. So that was the biggest standout for that game. Anything stand out for you that game? Like I said, I know you didn't watch it, but
No, it was just I saw the highlights and stuff. The malpractice of coaching at the end there. There's no explanation for that at all. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish with that. It made no sense to me whatsoever. I'm glad he lost his job because that's brutal, and I feel really bad for Caleb Williams, man. Uh,
yeah,
To be fair though, I also saw a couple plays where he wasted way too much time just to get sacked.
Yeah.
He does that a lot, and I don't know. He's not the rookie of the year. He's not even top.
No, but he is heating up.
He might
Like,
not even be top 3 rookie of the year to me, to be honest with you. But
no.
I don't know.
He had a ton of pressure on him though this year. Most
Yeah,
rookies do, unfortunately. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think Caleb Williams played fantastic in that second half because I was actually watching. I think he played pretty well. Some of the throws he made to Keenan Allen, like that 31-yard bomb dot, next touchdown to Keenan Allen dot. Like he was playing well, but yeah, it's rookie mistakes. But I don't like everybody kind of giving him a hard time. That malpractice, as you said, great word by the way. Um, it was all on Eberflus. They definitely could have done something differently to tie up the game. And I'm going to be honest with you, if they tied that up, I think the Bears probably would have won in
yeah.
overtime because Detroit didn't do anything on offense in the second half. It was just like a flip and switch. And yeah, I think the Bears would have won if they just tied that game up. Cowboys Giants, pretty good game actually. I was kind of surprised. Like you said, the only thing I can really speak to about this is Cooper Rush looks pretty good.
He
Like it
looks
seems
good.
like they figured it out. Do I think they're going to make the playoffs? No, they're
No.
in too deep of a hole. But I think they're going to end the season on a strong note, which is positive for Cowboys fans. Um, anything you got about that one?
Their run game kind of actually looked okay.
Yeah, Rico
Um,
Dowdle, big game.
Rico Dowd had a good game. The thing is though, the Giants' rushing defense is horrendous. So like that's a hard one to judge on what they're going to do for the rest of the year for their run game. But they actually had a run game, so and it looked okay, and they won the game. They dominated the game really. Like it wasn't really close, 27-20, but it only got close towards like the very very end of the game. So I don't know. Cowboys actually looked all right, but again, it was just the Giants. Like
Yeah, no, I agree. I
with the
agree.
two, like it's. Mm,
So the next one we're going to talk about Packers and Dolphins. Packers look fantastic.
yeah,
Dolphins look good in the fourth quarter, but didn't do anything for the first three quarters.
yeah.
Kind of expected because it was a cold weather game, and they do not play well in cold weather games. Um, all I gotta say is, man, like, where's Jaden Reed? Yeah, two touchdowns, but he only had two catches for 23 yards
Mhm.
or three catches, something like that. I guess that's what happens when you have multiple wide receivers that want the ball, right? Because they got Dontavian Wicks, Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Malachi Heath. Like they have a
Wow.
ton of guys that they got to throw the ball to. Tucker Craft, like, yeah, I don't know. I think I lost that trade, unfortunately, between you and I, but
You were pushing for it too. I didn't
I
even
know.
want to make it.
Well, the thing is he was a stud last year. Like Jaden Reed, he was a stud. Came out of nowhere, and I thought like he was going to break out even more this year, especially after that game when we were driving home from KC. I remember you were watching in the passenger seat, and he had like what 38 fantasy points or something.
On my
Like,
bench. He was on my bench.
yeah, like fuck, man, what a game. And then the last one, I'm sure I already know what you're going to say. Yesterday, the Black Friday game. So, Chiefs offense couldn't do anything. Pat Mahomes had a great game. I think he threw for like 340 yards and a touchdown. No interceptions, but once again, no touchdowns. These guys cannot score a touchdown. Shout out Matt Wright for helping them win. And also shout out to, because I know what you're going to say, so I'm going to say it too, because I texted you about this last night. Yeah, there's some black magic going on. There is some black magic going on in the background because once again, did not deserve to win that game. Uh, don't know what Jackson Powers was doing for the Raiders, why he snapped that ball and caused that fumble, but yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Like I told my brother this morning, I was like, yeah, they didn't deserve to win that. They just got lucky again. So so you can speak to it because I know you're dying about it.
Not
So
even dying anymore at this point. It's just so true. Like I don't I it's unbelievable to me. Like it's actually unbelievable to me that you guys are 11-1 and could so easily be like 7-5.
Yeah, we're 8-4.
So
That's what my
sleepy.
district sales manager, he texted me last night,
Like,
first a work question. And he goes, by the way, how many horseshoes does Kansas City have up their ass?
dude, and like you gotta
So
think about it, like the opposite end of the spectrum to what is happening to you guys is happening to the Chicago Bears right
yeah,
now,
I
where
know.
they are losing shit at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And but like they're doing that, but for a fair amount of your guys' like last second wins there, it's something happening to the other team
Yep.
that gives you guys the win. Like there was us with the toe
Yeah.
out of bounds. There was blocked field goal by the
Against the
Broncos,
Broncos. Yeah.
25 yards out chip shot. And then yesterday, something, somewhere, somebody, something possessed their center to snap that ball.
Yeah, I know.
I'll be honest, O'Connell didn't even make any sort of like sound,
Gesture, yeah.
any gesture to snap the ball. He was just looking around. And something possessed that center to snap that ball. And I actually like you guys are not an 11-1 team. I don't
No.
care. Like you're not 11-1. The Detroit Lions look like an 11-1 team. The
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs do not look like an 11-1 team. But there's nothing we can do about it because this is so clearly like out of our like reality of what's going on here because there's just no way. There's legitimately just when that happened yesterday and the refs were discussing like what the play call is here, where we go from here, I knew that Kansas City was getting that ball. Like
So did I
I
because
knew it was over.
so did I because like when I saw Nick Bolton jump on him, like shit, this is a fumble. But then they were talking. I was like, oh, okay, maybe it might not be a fumble. But I'm like, I think this is a fumble. And then he comes on the mic and he goes, yeah. So the result of the play was snap, fumble recovery by the Kansas City Chiefs. And I was like, what the fuck? And then Deitch texted me. He goes, fuck your team for real.
It doesn't mean
Because you know damn well all the Bills fans were watching that, like especially like if they got home from work, right? And saw that the Raiders were beating the Chiefs 17-16. You know all of them were watching because if they beat San Fran and we lost to the Raiders, the Bills would be in first place of the AFC. So you already know Bills fans are just cheesed at the outcome of that game, man.
I'll be honest, like it you guys are squeaking by bad teams too.
Yeah. But to be and like, does it worry me? No. And that's the honest to God truth because we had a worse season last year where we lost to these bad teams and won the playoffs, won the Super Bowl. So I'm not worried. But eventually, like
I'd be
all good things come to an end.
I
So
would be
this
worried
could be the year
yeah,
that they finally get like
yeah. That's what I'm
whopped up
getting
in the
at.
playoffs by some team that's just like ready to go.
That's what I'm
So
getting at is you should be worried as to when this is gonna end. Because like there's just you guys are not doing this. This is not you guys. Like
yeah.
there's something else going on here. Like no doubt in my mind. It's not
Yeah.
rigged. Like this isn't the NFL either. This is
No, I
something
know.
else. And like I would be worried for your sake as to when that's gonna stop
Yeah,
because
when the
you
luck
know
runs out.
it's gonna be like first round of the playoffs, or you guys will have the bye.
I don't know. I don't know. If they keep playing like this, they may lose a game or
Doesn't
two
matter
down the
how bad
stretch.
you guys. It clearly doesn't matter how bad you guys play. It
So
doesn't.
you still think they get the bye?
I 100% think you guys get the bye. Like no doubt in my mind, think you get the bye. So I think you guys will get the bye. But that first game that you guys play against whoever it will be, you can quote me on this now. You guys might lose by like 10 plus points because all that shit is just ran out. Like
Yeah.
that's it. Like you guys have maxed out your witch powder, your jar. You have no more lambs to sacrifice. Like
Yeah.
there's something, and it has to run out at a certain point. And you almost want, like for your sake, you almost want it to run out in a game like that,
Rather than
as
like the
opposed
Super
to
Bowl.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, so I'm gonna speak to that too.
There's no way.
I think their luck could continue all the way to winning the Super Bowl again this year and three-peat, but then I think it could be completely different next year and they're just gonna be a bad team. That's one scenario, or two. their luck runs out in the AFC Championship game in like overtime or some shit.
Something's happened.
That's the only. Those are the two scenarios. I don't see them losing round one of the playoffs. I see them because they have the bye, like you said, so they're guaranteed after round one to be in the AFC Championship game. So I could see them losing on some weird ass play in overtime, or their luck continues the rest of the year, squeak
Deadass.
out a win, and then next year just completely different story.
Have
Com-
you guys won a game this year by more than one score?
I'm not sure. Let me check. So. All right, so
Oh, no.
preseason. Okay, so we beat you guys by one score, 7 points. We beat the Bengals by 1 point, beat the Falcons by five,
Saints.
beat the Chargers by seven, beat the Saints by 13, beat the Niners by 10. So there's a little stretch of 2 games in a row that was more than one score. Beat the Raiders by seven, beat the Bucks by six, beat the Broncos. Man, these last 4 games have been crazy. Beat the Broncos by two, lose to the Bills by nine, beat the Panthers by three, beat the Raiders
Like,
by two.
you
And the
see
thing
what
is they play the Chargers next Sunday too, so that's gonna be another close game.
you see what I mean though? Like, don't get me wrong, you guys are a good team, but you're not an 11-1 team. There's no shot you're an 11-1 team.
Well, yeah, like realistically, okay, you look at it here. Could have lost to you guys, so that'd have been one loss. Could have lost to the Bengals, that could have been 2 losses. Could have lost to the Falcons, that's 3
Could have
losses.
lost to the Bucks.
The game against the Chargers, I remember that one vividly. It was very low scoring, but their defense dominated. So I'm not going to count that one. Saints, they ran that game. 49ers, they ran that game. So now we're looking at 3-3.
Could have
The
lost.
game against the Raiders, let's see. What was that one? They dominated that game, I remember, but it came down to like a last like garbage time touchdown from the Raiders. So 4-3, could have lost to the Bucks. So if we flip that around, 4-4, should have lost to the Broncos, 4-5.
Yep.
Did lose to the Bills, 4-6.
Yep.
Could have lost, yeah. Yeah,
You see what I mean? Like, you see what I mean?
It's a completely different season. Damn.
Like, and it's all the very last play of the game.
Yeah, and the thing is you look at their schedule, right? Okay, the Chargers are no joke. Could lose that game. Should beat the Browns, but I mean, everybody thought they were going to blow out the Panthers, and they didn't. So they could lose that game. If the Texans figure things out, could lose that game. The Witchcraft Bowl on Christmas between the Chiefs
that
and the
fucking
Steelers.
stadium is gonna be floating by
Yeah.
half. Like,
who knows what happens there? And then they're going to be playing a very hungry Broncos team last week of the season. Yeah, this is gonna be a fun end to the season. I just love the meme where it's like that, like, oh, time for your 3 hours of torture, and it's like, yes, Chiefs, and the guy's got bags under his eyes and stuff. Because that is true, man. I don't think I ever leave one of those games where I'm like, oh, what a great win. I feel good. I'm always stressed at the end of it.
I'm not gonna lie. There's a couple games this year as a Ravens fan where I'm like, wow, we fucking kicked ass. Like, we actually like kicked ass this game. You guys haven't done that. Like, you just haven't straight kicked ass. But hey, man,
No, you're 100% right. It's been a very stressful season as a Chiefs fan. Not gonna lie, we're winning, great, but yeah, like a couple of years of your life are coming off after the end of that game. Like, fuck, man.
To the back-to-back weeks to the Panthers and Raiders, and like,
Yeah.
you won by a total of like 5 points.
Yeah. The only thing I'll give the Raiders is it is a divisional game. And those two teams always tend to play each other pretty strong. Like, even when Derek Carr was the Raiders quarterback, like, it was always like down to the last play of the game. Same as the Chargers. Broncos, it never really used to be that way until last year when they actually lost to the Broncos. Now those games are close too. But yeah, whatever. Well, that's our rant about that. But yeah, that shit's kind of crazy. Shit's kind of crazy, man. So. All right, let's get into week 13 predictions. So, first game that's on the list here, Texans Jaguars. Who do you got and why?
I got the Texans. They're just a better team. Jacksonville's not good. That being said, it's going to be a close game. It's a divisional game, and I still am not fully impressed with the Texans. like to this day, I'm like CJ Stroud. I've been on that all year, and they haven't proved me wrong yet. They
Yeah.
winning games, don't get me wrong, but they all are ugly. Like they're all ugly games. And with the offense that Diggs has been out, which is a factor for sure, but CJ Stroud just hasn't looked like the player that we thought he was going to be this year. Like he
Yeah.
at the beginning of the year, I'm pretty sure we both said it's possible for him to be top 5 in MVP voting. No chance. Literally no chance. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Texans. They're just the better team.
Well, speaking of that, so I agree with you. Yeah. So like I don't need to go into detail. You know who's really been carrying the Texans to their wins? Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Like I think, and knock on wood, I'm not trying to jinx it, so I'll make a loud noise here. If Joe Mixon got injured, their season would get derailed.
Yeah.
He is carrying them right now.
No,
And
he's
he's
very
almost
good.
30, man. Like that shit's crazy how
Yeah.
big of a resurgence he's had.
Speaking of
So
that, it's crazy the free agent running back signings
yeah.
this year. Like Jacobs, Saquon, King Henry, and Joe Mixon dominating
Yep.
new teams.
Yeah.
Absolutely dominating. And all the teams that they left
Are
can't
terrible.
run the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. And they all like us. I'm pretty sure Mixon got paid pretty heavily. Jacobs got paid pretty heavily. Saquon got paid pretty heavily. But Derrick Henry got chump change. Yet
Relative.
he's balling. And
Yeah.
like, hey, I mean, we're both not millionaires, so that's not chump change to us. But still, like,
No,
for
yeah.
his skill level, he should have got paid more than what he did. So he took a pretty team-friendly discount to sign with you guys. So yeah, I don't know. And I'm pretty sure, like, right on the side, because this is the next game we're talking about, I'm pretty sure Jonathan Taylor's a free agent this year.
I think he is.
Yeah. Damn. I wonder where he goes. Because I don't think he'll stay on the Colts. Damn. All right. Speaking of that, that's a segue into this game. Colts Patriots. I'll start this one off. I got Colts winning. Reason being Jonathan Taylor. And because they are fighting for their playoff lives right now, and it's in the tail end of the season.
I'm gonna go with the Colts too, and that's my exact reason why they have something to play for. It is pretty close for that last like AFC wildcard spot there. There's quite a few teams that are like relatively close, but I'm gonna go with the Colts too. Patriots are gonna put up a fight because they know that the Colts have to win. So I'm expecting a good game, but not like a exciting game.
Yeah. This game is going to be sneaky good, man. Once again, two teams fighting for their playoff lives. Chargers and Falcons. I got Chargers winning. Reason being, their defense is going to stop the pass game, and Bijan Robinson can only do so much. Knock on wood, we've seen him do some pretty crazy things this year, but I don't think it's going to be enough for the Falcons to win. And I also think the Chargers are going to rebound from a pretty poor showing against you guys.
I am going to pick the Falcons. Is J.K. Dobbins out?
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick the Falcons on that. The Chargers won't have much of a run game, and their passing game isn't great because, again, Greg Roman isn't a good passing offensive coordinator. He's a terrific run scheme offensive coordinator. But that being said, I love Gus Edwards, but he's not RB1. He shouldn't be an RB1 on a team.
He is when it's like goal, like first and goal within like 3 yards. Yeah.
Yeah. 5 yard line and in, I'll give it to Gus Edwards. But I just trust the Falcons more in this spot. I want the Chargers to win though, because I like the AFC being interesting at like for that last spot there, and I kind of wanted to push the Bengals out a little bit more. But I'm gonna go with the Falcons on this one, bro.
All right, we're back. Okay, so we talked about Chargers, Falcons. Next up on the schedule is Seahawks, Jets. Who do you got and why?
It's actually a close game. Give me the Seahawks. Give me the Seahawks. I trust them more than I trust the Jets. The Jets are coming off a bye, so maybe they figured some stuff out. But like, I don't know. I think they're too deep in the hole where they're gonna actually play meaningful games. But I still think it'll be close. But I'm gonna give the Seahawks the advantage here.
Yeah, I don't think this is one I'm really gonna watch, to be honest. I'll just check the highlights on Red Zone. Uh, I'm gonna take the Jets to win. Main reason being is you said they're coming off a bye. I think they might have figured some stuff out. Still don't think they make the playoffs. They're too deep in a hole, but I think this will be like a morale type boost game where they win. Next one, probably won't watch too much of this either. Commanders and Titans. I got the Commanders winning. Reason being, Titans just kind of suck. They'll put up a fight. I mean, Will Levis hasn't really been playing that bad these last couple weeks. I saw a tweet of his stats, and I can't remember what they were, but it was quite impressive. Um, but I think the Commanders need a rebound game because they've kind of been slumping for the last little bit, and they're almost out of the playoffs. So
They have the Titans have a very good defense, but I'm going to go with the Commanders too on the fact that they need a good rebound game, like you said. And I think this might be a game where they end up blowing out the Titans.
okay, divisional game: Steelers Bengals. Pretty big one for you. So we got. Hmm,
Is there a way for both of them to lose?
yeah, I know. I'm going to say a bold prediction here. This game's going to end in a tie.
Really?
Yep. This
Well,
game's going to end in a tie. That's my prediction. There's always one tie every year. Every year, and I got this game being a tie.
I wouldn't mind that being the case, but I'll honestly say I think the Bengals are going to win this one. I think that coming off a bye for them, knowing how much they need to win this game, they have a tremendous offense, and like on any given day, they can put up a crazy amount of points. The Steelers' defense is great. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that the Bengals' offense will be clicking on tomorrow. So give me the Bengals to take this one.
Okay.
It's gonna be a low scoring game, like a 17-14 kind of game, but I think the Bengals are gonna end up taking this.
All right. I honestly might put $5 down on a tie. I might put $5. Like I said, if there's any game I can see, it'd be this one because there's so much and so terrible grammar, so many implications for both teams in this that I could just see it being a dud, and they end up dying. Cardinals Vikings. I think this will be a sneaky good game. Cardinals coming off getting absolutely whopped, and when I say absolutely whopped, it wasn't high scoring. They just couldn't do anything against the Seahawks. Henceforth, they fell out of first in their division and they fell out of a playoff spot.
Yep.
That's how tight it is in the NFC. The Vikings, they're pushing for first place. I think this is going to be high scoring. Give me the Cardinals in a bounce back game.
I will also take the Cardinals on this one. The Vikings have looked a little shaky, like a little bit shaky. But you're right, the Cardinals need a ridiculously good bounce back game because their division is still up for grabs. Their division is super tight. Everybody in that is like one game off of each other. So, and I don't know. The Vikings have 2 losses.
Yeah, they're 9-2.
Yeah, so they have to. I don't know. They could still push for their first place in the NFC there.
Yeah, and they play the Lions soon. I think it's next week, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. This will be a good game. Give me the Cards, though. Give me the Cards.
All right. Then we got the Rams or the Rammers and the Saints. I got the Rams. Reason being, they're still fighting for their playoff lives too. They actually did get whopped up score wise and stuff by the Eagles. I don't think they're going to let that slide this week. Sean McVay, fantastic coach. So I think they're going to do what the Eagles did to them, but this time do it to the Saints.
I agree too. I think the Rams are going to win this. The Saints are just too deep, too injuries. Like nothing's gone well for them other than the first couple games of the year. They had a good game last week, I'm pretty sure, where they won. No, was that last week or the week before where they won?
Checking. They were on bye, so it would have been the week before. Yeah, they won 35-14 in week 11 against the Browns.
So I don't know, but I'm gonna go with the Rams too. I trust them more, and like you said, anybody in that NFC like West Divvy there is going to be fighting. Like, that's
Yeah.
an insane division to end.
Which is what we're normally used to. It hasn't been like that the last like 2 years. But I remember growing up, man, that division was a dogfight because San Fran used to be good. Seahawks used to be good. Um, Arizona used to be good, like
Yeah,
Kurt Warner and shit like that. Like that division was always a dogfight. And then it kind of just tampered off and it was normally the 49ers that just ran it. So um, this I think is going to be a sneaky good game because the Panthers are starting to play pretty well. But I still got the Bucks winning because they're pushing. And I got to check the standings actually. I don't know if they're in first or one loss behind the Falcons, but they're pushing the Falcons for first in that division.
yeah, they are.
Yeah, so the Falcons are 6-5 and the Bucks are 5-6. So I got the Bucks winning, but I think it's gonna be a lot closer than what people expect.
Yeah, I agree. If Bryce Young can play like what he did last week, um, I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be okay. I think it'll be a good game. Mike Evans is back. I think he will have a big game this week because the Panthers don't have a good defense. I think, yeah, but give me the Bucks. Give me the Bucks.
Well, I like what Dave Canales is doing with that team now. He benched Bryce Young. Everybody was like, "Oh, like that's bad for a QB's morale." Bryce Young got to watch behind Andy Dalton for a bit, and now he's come back and he's balling.
Good.
Like that team is playing with a lot of momentum. I honestly think they're probably going to finish the year with like 5 wins, which is a significant improvement compared to what they were last year. So
No, they look good.
yeah, yeah, like I think they're gonna surprise some people. Game of the week, Eagles Ravens. I got Ravens winning. Um, all I gotta say is I don't think it's like, hey, your guys' pass defense, we both can agree sucks. But I don't think it's going to be a very big passing game from either team. I think it's going to be Derrick Henry versus Saquon Barkley. Whoever gets more tuds, more yards, that team wins the game. And because it's at home for you guys at the bank, I got the Ravens winning. Masterclass of a game from Derrick Henry coming up, but also masterclass of a game coming from Saquon.
Our secondary's figured it out.
Yeah, it's still not great though.
Last 2 weeks, we haven't given up a passing touchdown. We've held both quarterbacks to under like 225 pass yards. Ever since we got rid of Eddie Jackson and Marcus Williams as our starting safeties, and just use Kyle Hamilton and our Darius Washington as our safeties, our secondary has looked good. It's our pass rush that needs work. I'm gaining more and more confidence in our defense every week. The factor for I think the Ravens are going to win. The factor for me is the availability of Devontae Smith.
He's playing.
He's still questionable.
Oh, no, I read a report this morning that he's most likely good to go.
I think he's the most likely good to go too. He didn't play last week, but he's still questionable, so I'm leaning towards he's probably.
Well, that's the thing, though. If you guys can stop both AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, I think you guys should win this game with ease.
Yeah.
If you can't stop them, then who knows? Because if you can't stop them, then it opens up Saquon Barkley. And then Saquon Barkley starts to pop off, and that's when the problems ensue. I think this game's going to be really, like, pardon my language, but I think this game's going to be really fucking good. Like, which is like a pleasant surprise for the 4 o'clock slates, because the 4 o'clock slates normally suck. But I will definitely be tuning into this one because I think it's going to be very good. So,
be a banger. This should definitely be a banger.
And normally when these two teams play, it is normally a banger too. So we'll see. Like I don't know. I don't know. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles beat you guys, but I'm all in on the Ravens. Like if I were to put money on a team to win straight up, it'd be the Ravens. I just have more confidence in them, even though the Eagles have been balling for like the last like 6-7 weeks. I just think this is one of those games where they're just gonna get humbled a little bit.
Watch our secondary tomorrow. Just watch.
Yeah, they're gonna drop a few picks again.
Nah, that hasn't happened since.
It's gonna happen. Should I put $10 down on that if there's an option? Ravens secondary to drop clear interception, $10.
I'll bet you on it.
But you think they'll drop a clear interception?
No, they won't.
All right, deal. $10.
It has to be like a clear interception, like.
All right, yeah, deal. I'll watch the full game. So we'll do either $10 or next time we see each other, a pint for the other person. All right, deal. All right.
Yeah, like a clear interception. Like
Yeah,
if
No, I agree.
person was a
I
wide
agree.
receiver,
I'll
if
have it on. I'll have it on. I'll have it on my actual large TV, and I'll watch that game, and I'll have red zone on the smaller TV rather than the other way. What should have probably been a good game, but you and I were talking about this before we started recording. I don't think it's going to be as good as everybody was saying, just because of the snow. It's not crazy amounts of snow, but it is quite a bit. So, uh, 49ers versus Bills. I got Bills winning. Um, Heavy game from what's his name? James Cook. I think it's gonna be a run heavy game from both teams, unfortunately, because I'm playing CMC this week.
yeah.
But I think like I got Bills. It's gonna be Josh Allen probably runs for like 50, 60 yards, maybe a tud tomorrow. James Cook probably runs for 60 to 100 yards, probably a tud. CMC probably runs for 60 to 100 yards, probably a tud. So it's just going to be that type of game. But at the same time, what I have noticed about Josh Allen and Lamar and Pat Mahomes, a lot of those guys aren't afraid to throw the ball in the snow, and they'll still throw a dot if need be. So I wouldn't be surprised if I eat my words and it is a game where the Bills do air it out. So because Coleman's back, I believe.
Mm.
So they got Coleman, they got Cooper, they got still Khalil Shakir. 49ers,
Oh.
is Brock Purdy playing?
Brock Purdy is playing. Kincaid's out.
Okay, so Kincaid's out, but they still have Dawson Knox. It's a game for him to prove himself again. The 49ers got Purdy. Yeah, you know what? This might end up, it really all depends on the weather, but this might end up being a pretty good game. I'll watch it. And then the Monday nighter, and it's a pretty boring one. Oh, I never asked who you got winning. Sorry.
I got the Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Bills.
Monday nighter, probably won't really watch too much of this. Browns, Broncos. I'll keep it simple. Broncos, because Bo Nix has been playing like the offensive rookie of the year. I think he's past Jaden Daniels.
I think so too. I will also go with the Broncos. Both teams have a good defense, but the Broncos' offense is just significantly better than the Browns. So I'm going to go with the Broncos.
All right. Now, anytime TD scores, so let me sign into DK.
It sucks because we missed a lot of games already.
Yeah, I know. But like tomorrow's slate really isn't that bad before I sign in. It's like games I could see being interesting, Texans and Jaguars, because it's a divisional. Colts and Patriots probably won't watch too much, but I'll check the highlights. Chargers and Falcons should be good. Steelers and Bengals should be good. Cardinals and Vikings should be good. Rams, if you're a Rams fan versus the Saints, should be good. Bucks Panthers shouldn't be bad. Eagles and Ravens, chef's kiss. That should be a great game. 49ers and Bills, once again, weather dependent, but chef's kiss. That should be a great game. And then it just ends off on a dud. Like it's not a bad week for football. Not a bad week at all. All right. Sign in. Yes, I'm fit to play. Got to verify my phone number here. If you did not receive a code within 16 seconds, resend. It will not let me sign in. Try another method. Email. Continue. Let's try this. They don't want me winning this week, brother. There we go. Verification code. All righty. Checking location. They really don't want you signing into this nowadays. They know we've been rinsing them. All right, you can start it off. 1 o'clock slot. Who do you got?
1 o'clock slot. T. Higgins.
T. Higgs versus the Steelers. All right, T. I will stay on the wide receiver train. Nico Collins.
Nico Collins for back-to-back, eh?
Yeah, it's that time of year where he's going to start popping off. I'm expecting, like, if I stand a chance in fantasy, I have a feeling it's because Nico Collins had a big game.
Okay, and then another 1 o'clock. Oh, I got three options here from this one game. I don't know who I'm gonna pick for a wide receiver. Give me Devontae Adams.
I thought about that too. I knew you were going to say that.
It was either him, Wilson, or Metcalf were my picks.
All right. Not a bad parlay skis, not a bad parlay skis. T. Higgins plus 120. Nico Collins plus 125. Devontae Adams plus 175. $15 returns 204.18.
That sounds like a good one. I like that right off the rip.
Yeah. Picture. What are you doing? All right, I got my next one. B. John.
Is he actually James Conner? He just signed a contract extension today.
Really? I didn't hear that.
2 years. He just signed a contract extension today, so he's getting a tud tomorrow.
Fantasy points, baby.
Getting a tud tomorrow.
So I like it. I respect the hell out of James Conner, man. The guy puts in, like, this is my random aside before I give you my last pick. You and I talk about this weekly. Gets the yards all the time, but never gets the touchdowns, man. This guy deserves to hit the end zone. Deserves it.
So does Trey McBride.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the last but not least, I will give you the choice of who I'm thinking. I'm thinking either JT or Najee.
Najee. The Bengals rush defense sucks.
All right. Bijan minus 160. James Conner plus 105. Najee minus 110. $15. So that's plus 535. Returns $95.
There you go.
Yeah, it's not bad for an RB parlay. All right, 4 o'clock slots.
Is it me or you?
You. I already got my pick though, if you don't see him.
Michael Evans.
All right, Cooper Kupp.
And then another wide receiver, eh? Not even a wide receiver. Money Mark. We're going again.
Another great one. Mike Evans plus 130. Cooper Kupp plus 110. Mark Andrews plus 205. 15 bucks. Returns 220.97. And then one more. I can tell you want to play basketball.
See the hoops? Jeez.
You start this one off. I started. Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard. Okay, Kyron Williams.
I knew you were going to say that. I'm going to give us 2 picks here. They're both from the same game.
Saquon King Henry.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not bad.
All right, Chuba plus 105, Kyron minus 235, and then plus 132 for Derek and Saquon together. For 4-pick parlay is plus 577, so $15 on that returns 101.69.
That's not bad for the RBs.
No, it's not. That'd probably be one dependent on if I win in the 1 o'clock slot. That I'd probably put like 25 or 30 down, to be honest with you. And then do you want to give any picks for the Sunday nighter and Monday nighter?
For my Sunday nighter, I'm gonna go Deebo Samuel.
Deebo? And I will go with. God dang. Well, he's not on the book, so he might not be playing. Oh, yeah, he is. Keon Coleman.
Okay.
So take a guess what this 2-leg parlay is. Odds.
Plus 750.
Plus 1,200.
Jeez.
Deebo's plus 240. Keon Coleman is plus 280.
Jeez.
$15 returns $195.
Dude, that's crazy.
You know what it is? I think the books are taking into consideration it's a weather game. But at the same time, Cook is minus 130, which he's normally higher than that. Christian McCaffrey is minus 135. He's normally higher. That's actually the lowest I think he's ever been. Josh Allen's plus 130. And then Monday nighter, who do you got?
Cortland Sutton and Nick Chubb.
That's what I got too. So we won't even take a second pick. I'll do that. Plus 525. Easy peasy. So as always, let us know if you agree, disagree with our picks. This video will be live in probably like 4 hours. So thanks for tuning in, and we will go from there. Peace.
Take it easy.